Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Jaya Radha Nila Madhav Radha Nila Madhav Shri Radhe Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Devi Jaya Sita Ram Jaya Sita Ram Sita Ram Jaya Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jai Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Srila Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol गधा आवाज कर रहा था करके और धोबी आया और समझा कि गधा है वैसी आवाज है गधा वाला आवाज है ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां Sahagana Raghunathanvitam tam sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Srila Radha Govinda Das Goswami Namine Namaste Gurudevaya Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Gramya Janani Stharine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamine Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadhi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. His Holiness Srila Radha Govinda Maharaj ki, Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki, Srila Lokanath Swami Maharaj ki, all the wonderful glorious disciples of Prabhupada ki. Jai. As we see that today is a very auspicious day, of course, as far as Tithi is concerned, I believe all the appearances already happened earlier. But of course, because of convenience, we are just trying to club these three very wonderful, glorious disciples of Prabhupada. In fact, in my humble opinion, I think all the devotees will definitely agree to this. Every disciple of Prabhupada has embodied one quality of Prabhupada. Prabhupada is like a rainbow, having different beautiful colors, color-like qualities. And these different disciples of Prabhupada have taken one different quality of Prabhupada and just exemplified that in their whole life. Like for example, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, of all the months, Masanam, I am Margashish. Of the poetry, I am Gayatri. Of the Vedas, I am Samaveda. And Krishna gives a big list. Of the seasons, I am this. Of this, I am that. And in my humble opinion, I think if the same thing, if Krishna has to say that in connection with ISKCON, it will be something like this. Of all the Kirtaniyas in our movement, I am Sripada Indra Prabhu. Of all the devotees who are expert in building temples, I am Srila Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Of all the devotees who are expert in taking Dham Parikrama, I am Srila Lokanath Maharaj. Of all the devotees who are expert in Vaishnav Seva, I am Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj. And of all the devotees, those who are expert, or he who is expert in eloquently presenting Srimad Bhagavatam, by beautifully decorating that with the commentaries of predecessor acharyas, in my humble opinion, I think it is Srila Radha Govinda Maharaj. And of course, this list goes on. Every disciple, as we mentioned, we can take one wonderful quality and just increase this list on and on. In 2016, I was in Vrindavan and I was in Radhakund. And when I was in Radhakund, I was doing Radhakund Parikrama. And I happened to be in the Sangam of Radhakund and Shamkund. And at that time, I met one Prabhupada disciple by the name His Holiness Mahanidhi Maharaj, who has been living there for almost more than 4 decades or 5 decades. And in the course of the discussion, Mahanidhi Maharaj said something that just struck in my head. His Holiness Mahanidhi Maharaj said that way back in the 80s, after Prabhupada's demise, in the Krishna Balram Mandir, there were many Prabhupada disciples who were living. Because you see, during those days, majority of the disciples were living in the temples. Unlike today, where majority are staying out from the temple because of being grahasthas. So he was saying that myself, that is Mahanidhi Maharaj, Bhuvaneshwar Prabhu. Now Bhuvaneshwar Prabhu was the head cook of Krishna Balram Mandir for almost 30 years. He just departed 2 years back. He was a brahmachari, American-bodied, Prabhupada disciple, cooking 6 meals for Radha Shyam Sundar for 25 to 30 years, every single day, without taking a break. That was Bhuvaneshwar Prabhu. So Mahanidhi Maharaj, Bhuvaneshwar Prabhu, and Srila Radha Govinda Maharaj were there in the same room for good 4 to 5 years. This was one room. And the adjacent room was Sripada Indra Prabhu. So you can imagine what kind of explosion it will be. You have Ayendra Prabhu for Kirtan. You have Bhuvaneshwar Prabhu for cooking. You have Mahanidhi Maharaj who is dipped in Braj, and you have Srila Radha Govinda Maharaj who is dipped in Bhagavat, Srimad Bhagavatam. Complete madness, complete spiritual explosion. And he said, because I'm getting old, memory is very volatile. I've forgotten many things. But he said, the strongest memory I have of Srila Radha Govinda Maharaj is he would sit in front of the Bhagavatam, and for no less than 16 hours a day, he would sit and read and cry and cry and cry. He would say people would come, people would go, we would take rest, we would do so many different activities. But he would be glued to the Srimad Bhagavatam. And he said so many times we would see, he would read the commentaries and his tears would be flowing from his eyes. So much taste. Even now, in fact, we see, even in his age of 73, having paralysis, at 1:30, 1:45, 2 o'clock at night, we will get messages in our Srila Guru Maharaj's group. And he will be reading commentaries of Sridhar Swami, Vishwanath Chakravarti, night 1:45. When the whole world is sleeping, as Krishna says, when the whole world is sleeping, devotees are awake. And this is Sakshat Praman. With commentaries kept, he will be reading. With so much bodily ailments. And I remember that recently His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj, whose Vyasa Puja also we are celebrating. Lokanath Swami Maharaj, when he was in Vrindavan, he went to meet Srila Guru Maharaj. And of course the conversation was in Hindi, so I will translate for those who cannot understand. His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj went to Srila Guru Maharaj and they were speaking. And at one point Srila Lokanath Maharaj, he tells Srila Guru Maharaj, Maharaj ji, Bhagavat ke asli marmagya to aap ho. So in Hindi, marmagya means someone who knows the deepest conclusions, deepest secrets. जो गूढ़ रहस्य को जाने उसे मर्मज्ञ कहते हैं हिंदी में. So Lokanath Maharaj told Guru Maharaj, ISKCON में भागवत के असली मर्मज्ञ तो आप हो. And when Srila Guru Maharaj heard this, Srila Guru Maharaj said, कहाँ के मर्मज्ञ? हमें तो कुछ नहीं पता, कहाँ के मर्मज्ञ? So in reply to that, Lokanath Maharaj says, हाँ महाराज जी, हमें पता है आप कितने बड़े मर्मज्ञ हो. आज भी हम आपकी कथा सुनते और प्रेरणा लेते हैं. Lokanath Maharaj tells Srila Guru Maharaj. That recording is there. So he told Srila Guru Maharaj, भागवत के असली मर्मज्ञ तो आप ही हो. भागवत आपसे बेहतर शायद ही कोई जानता है. And this is not just a sectarian point that a disciple is making, but we find so many god brothers of Prabhupada also completely accept this fact. Srila Radhanath Maharaj had asked Gauranga Prabhu and Radhesham Prabhu to go to Srila Guru Maharaj's Khadiya Katha. In Bihar, there is a place called as Khadiya. And Srila Guru Maharaj would give classes there, 98, 99, 2000, for hours together. Morning 3 hours, evening 3 hours. And Srila Radhanath Maharaj had told Gauranga Prabhu and Radhesham Prabhu, go, hear, and then come back and translate to me what Radha Govinda Maharaj is saying. And the best example to substantiate this point is we find 2 years back, Radhesham Prabhu, as an offering to Srila Guru Maharaj, he got together all the lectures of Radha Govinda Maharaj that he has given in the last 30 years. He got together all the lectures and compiled them canto-wise. This was his offering to Radha Govinda Maharaj. The whole of NVCC team, headed by Radhesham Prabhu, spearheaded by Radhesham Prabhu, from Canto 1 till Canto 12, all the lectures, theme-wise, chapter-wise, verses, Radhesham Prabhu got together. So Radhesham Prabhu, there he was explaining that so many points that we make in our classes, it comes straight from what Srila Radha Govinda Maharaj has spoken. We just do Control-C, Control-V. We just translate it, but the origin is there. And likewise, we see Gauranga Prabhu also so many times in so many classes, he mentions that he has heard from Srila Radha Govinda Maharaj. In fact, Gauranga Prabhu and his team have translated many classes of Radha Govinda Maharaj into English. Because predominantly Radha Govinda Maharaj always speaks in Hindi. But Gauranga Prabhu's team have translated that to English in so many classes. Govardhan Leela, Dam Bandhan Leela, Krishna eating dirt, Krishna's appearance, Nanda Maharaj going to Mathura, Krishna going to Mathura, Akrura coming. Gauranga Prabhu's team has translated word by word, alphabet by alphabet, verse by verse with all references. So it's a Sakshat Praman that not just Lokanath Swami Maharaj, not just Mahanidhi Maharaj, not just Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, but the list goes on. So many disciples of Prabhupada, in their heart, they are convinced and they give all due respects to Srila Radha Govinda Maharaj for this one anga of studying Srimad Bhagavatam and inspiring others in hearing and chanting the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. So I just hope and pray, not taking much time, I just hope and pray that being a disciple, at least I call myself a disciple, at least in his eyes, I hope and pray that someday Srila Guru Maharaj blesses me. And not just Srila Guru Maharaj, all the disciples of Srila Prabhupada and all the devotees present here. By your blessings and by your prayers, I hope one day in some lifetime to imbibe this mood of Srila Guru Maharaj of going deeper into the study of Srimad Bhagavatam, decorated with a very wonderful commentaries. Srila Radha Govinda Das Goswami Maharaj ki, Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki, Srila Lokanath Swami Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavan ki jai. Hare Krishna.
जय श्रीला राधा गोविंद महाराज की जय, जय लोकनाथ महाराज की जय, जय श्री तमाल कृष्ण महाराज की जय। नमा ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेस्थाय भूतले श्रीमती राधा गोविंद गोस्वामी नामीन इति नामिने नमस्ते प्रभुपादीय दैवं गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी ग्राम्य जन निस्तारिणे। I don't have a qualification to glorify Paramhams Mahabhagavat, His Holiness Srila Radha Govinda Das Goswami Maharaj. But I am taking this opportunity to purify my heart by glorifying the Mahabhagavat Param Puja Srila Radha Govinda Das Goswami Maharaj. Please bless me so that I can talk few words to glorify His Holiness Srila Radha Govinda Das Goswami Maharaj on his 73rd appearance day celebration. Here I'll speak on what I heard from Vyasa Puja offerings by other Vaishnava senior devotees from their experience. So the one topic I'm remembering is the early childhood of Maharaj, where devotees are explaining the details, some of the important points of Maharaj, where Maharaj had developed a deep love for Shastras and blessed with the great memory. Maharaj was born on Tuesday, July 12, 1949, which was also the day of Sri Jagannath Yatratra Mahotsav in Garuda town in Kaimur district in Bihar state. Maharajji's name before the initiation was Shubhanarayan, given by their parents. When Maharaj was the seventh child of their parent, and Maharajji had to his parents were total having 7 children. And all Maharaj's brothers and sisters were engaged in the devotional service by association of Maharaj. Maharaj, since childhood, Maharaj was inclined towards reading Shastras. He started reading and reciting Ramcharitmanas at very early age and memorized the entire Ramcharitmanas, including all verses in Sanskrit, in Hindi. After coming in contact with Vidyananda Tripathi, living in their hometown, who encouraged Maharajji to start reading and memorizing Bhagavatam at very early age, and as well as its Sanskrit verses. Maharajji started studying Srimad Bhagavatam in his early school days, where Maharajji used to tell his mother that he is going to school and he will take Srimad Bhagavatam books and read the whole canto in a day and memorize the verses of one chapter each day. And that was the Maharaj routine. And until he has memorized the whole chapter, he will not return home or he will not even eat his meal. Then due to this, Maharaj used to miss his school, but Maharaj was blessed with intelligence and great memory. He will complete his study in a very short time and he will always come first in his class. Maharaj, when Maharajji was in 7th standard, he he was in school, and one time the postman handed over the letter to Maharaj and asked him to deliver it to the principal of the school. And Maharaj was just looking at the letter, and at the back of the letter it was written that if someone reads this letter, one will become a devotee of Krishna. Earlier Maharajji did not believe that, and he was thinking, he was challenging that how can one read a letter and become a devotee of Krishna. So Maharaj decided to open a letter and read it. Once Maharaj completely read the letter, and Maharaj said, I want to meet this person. And that person was none other than Bhaiji. He was a Hanuman Prasad Poddar. And he's a Gita Press editor trustee. And Hanuman Prasad Poddar, as is also known as Bhaiji, helped Srila Prabhupada to print first 3 volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam before Srila Prabhupada came to America first time. At that time Maharajji realized that whatever is written in this letter is correct, and developed the eagerness to meet the Bhaiji Poddar. And Maharaj decided to write a letter to Hanuman Prasad Poddar. Maharaj was at 10th standard, at the middle of his school time, he decided to meet Hanuman Prasad Poddar ji. And that's fine, I'll hold. He decided to meet the Hanuman Prasad Poddar ji. So he went to the Gorakhpur. That's where Hanuman Prasad Poddar ji was living. After staying there for a few months, Bhaiji asked Maharaj, school mein padhte ho? And Maharaj answered, हाँ, तो परीक्षा नहीं देनी है? Maharaj ji was thinking, what is Maharaj is asking now? It's a very uncomfortable question. And then Hanuman Prasad Poddar encouraged Maharaj ji to go and attend the exams. Maharaj ji reached his home just few days before the 10th board exam and passed in first class. So he finished his studies in very quick time. Maharaj also developed the deep faith in Guru and Gauranga. So by looking at Maharaj ji's strong knowledge and inclination towards Srimad Bhagavatam, and inclination to learn Shastras, and knowing Maharaj's quality, Hanuman Prasad Poddar ji suggested that you should read the Chaitanya Charitamrita. But Chaitanya Charitamrita is written in the Bengali. So he suggested Maharaj to learn Bengali and then read it. Maharaj ji just took only 2 days to learn Bengali and completed reading Chaitanya Charitamrita in very short time. Maharaj wanted to surrender to the Vaishnava and take Diksha. So Maharaj ji asked Hanuman Prasad Poddar ji at the same time for the same Diksha, and Hanuman Prasad Poddar ji told Maharaj that you should surrender and take Diksha from Uttam Adhikari. And there is only one Uttam Adhikari at this time, which is Bhakti Siddhanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And he has come to India with his 40 disciples, and go and meet him. Maharaj went to Banaras to meet Srila Prabhupada. At that time, when Maharaj went to Banaras, there was a procession from Dashmamed Ghat to Tapan Mishra's house. That's where Maharaj attended the procession, and then he could not able to meet the Prabhupada in person at that time. So Maharaj decided to find out when Prabhupada, what is the next place he can meet Prabhupada. So Prabhupada was going to the Gorakhpur. So Maharaj came to know the date where the Srila Prabhupada is living and staying in the Gorakhpur. So Maharaj left Gorakhpur early so that he can meet Srila Prabhupada. After the day Srila Prabhupada arrived, Maharaj went to meet Srila Prabhupada in the morning time, where Srila Prabhupada finished Mangalarti and was chanting with his few disciples. So Maharaj ji came and paid obeisances and requested that he wants to meet A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Srila Prabhupada, because Maharaj ji did not know who is Srila Prabhupada at that time. So at that time Maharaj did not know him and seen him. So Srila Prabhupada asked Maharaj ji, when Maharaj said, I want to meet Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada said, why do you want to meet Srila Prabhupada? Maharaj ji replied, because he is my guru and I like him very much. Then Prabhupada asked Maharaj ji, why you accept him your guru? Maharaj ji replied, because he is a servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Prabhupada asked Maharaj, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Maharaj ji replied, he is a Krishna himself. Prabhupada again asked Maharaj, why do you accept Lord Chaitanya as a Krishna himself? Maharaj ji replied that because I read Chaitanya Charitamrita and it is mentioned that Krishna himself came as a devotee to preach. Then Prabhupada went on testing Maharaj's strong faith and said, no, he is not a Krishna, he is just a devotee of Krishna. Then Maharaj replied again, no, he is Krishna himself. Then Prabhupada said, no, he is not Krishna. That was going on a little bit while. And after that, Maharaj got upset and he told Srila Prabhupada that I know he is Krishna himself and I don't want to hear anything more than that. And Srila Prabhupada started laughing, and all his 3 disciples who were also sitting there, they paid the full obeisances to the Prabhupada and says, Jai Srila Prabhupada. And at that time Maharaj realized that it is the Srila Prabhupada him he is talking, and he started paying the full obeisances and started apologizing, saying, Maharaj, I made a mistake by arguing with you and you are my guru, please forgive me. And Prabhupada replies, I am very, very happy with your words. I want my disciple to have this quality where they have strong faith in Gauranga, as he is Krishna himself. And also, if time comes when Guru is not speaking as per Shastra, then one should correct him with full faith in Shastra. So that was a teaching Srila Prabhupada gave to Maharaj. Maharaj got initiated by Srila Prabhupada on a day of Ram Navami in 1975 in Vrindavan, in Krishna Balram temple with 2 other devotees. So another quality is Maharaj's deep love in Bhagavatam. As per Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.18, it talks about Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavata Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. So Maharaj has a deep love in Srimad Bhagavatam. Maharaj ji has memorized all 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. Maharaj ji has studied 10 plus previous Acharya's commentaries very, very thoroughly, including Sridhar Swami, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Baldev Vidyabhushan, and other Acharyas like Hari Suri, Vallabhacharya, and other prominent bona fide Vaishnava Acharyas, and keep mentioning their comments in his Srimad Bhagavatam class. Once Srila Prabhupada was taking a Srimad Bhagavatam class in Krishna Balram temple, and he's writing all the verses, and that's how Prabhupada started, is write Sanskrit verses, put it in English and give the meaning and then talk about the purport. So Prabhupada finished explaining the class. After 1.5 hours, Prabhupada simply asked a question: who can tell me, who can recite this verse and explain in a very simple way what this verse says about it? So nobody was putting their finger up or nobody standing it. And after a few minutes, Maharaj saw that nobody's coming up forward. So Maharaj raised their hand very slowly, and Srila Prabhupada called him. Maharaj recited this verse with the extremely easy, like singing a song. And then he started explaining the verse very beautifully, narrating the whole purport in a very simplified way, what Prabhupada has explained in a very sweet Hindi language. And Srila Prabhupada was like smiling, and he said he got a blessing from Prabhupada, and Prabhupada asked him to come and meet me in person, separately in my room. So Maharaj goes to his room, and Srila Prabhupada says that you preach Bhagavatam so nicely, I want you to preach the Bhagavatam all around the world in this way. So everybody should hear Bhagavad Katha from you. That was Prabhupada's instructions to the Radha Govind Maharaj. Once there was a time, like Arjun Sakha Prabhu already explained about the Mahanidhi Maharaj's pastime with the Srila Govinda, Radha Govindas Goswami Maharaj. But this is another incident where Mahanidhi Maharaj and Srila Radha Govind Maharaj were staying in one room, in one place. where Maharajji is extremely fond of reading Bhagavatam, and he doesn't need anything except the Bhagavatam all day long. So Mahanidhi Maharaj wanted to take association of Maharaj and spend some time. So Mahanidhi Maharaj was asking a question to Maharaj, very little smaller way, and Maharaj was giving very short and crisp answer, and he was started reading Bhagavatam again. And then this was going on for a few minutes, and Mahanidhi Maharaj was thinking, how do I continue my interaction with Radha Govindas Maharaj, Goswami Maharaj? And then after meditating his thoughts, he said, Maharaj is reading Srimad Bhagavatam, let me ask him question on Srimad Bhagavatam. Once he started asking question, they were discussing the topic for 2 to 3 hours continuously. So that gave him association, not only association, fulfill the desire to get association of Bhagavatam and Maharaj himself. So when Maharajji gives Srimad Bhagavatam class, even knowing everything by heart, Maharaj prepared 10 plus hours for each class, thinking that he doesn't want to not only miss it, but he wants to memorize every single little details of Srimad Bhagavatam and Krishna's pastime. Maharajji, while staying in Vrindavan after Mangala Aarti and Japa, he will go to his room and read Srimad Bhagavatam all day long, and sometimes forgets to eat prasadam, as Maharajji is always enjoying the supreme sweet, which is Srimad Bhagavatam. Maharajji even today studies Bhagavatam like he is reading something new, and he keeps telling all his disciples and devotees who comes to meet him to read Bhagavatam daily. That will help them to develop a taste in chanting the Harinam. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Shri Radha Govind Maharaj ki jai, Jai Lokanath Maharaj ki jai, Jai Shri Tamal Krishna Maharaj ki jai. Vansha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhu jai patitanam pavanebhyo Jai Jai Shri Radha.
Hare Krishna. Wonderful offering, Arjun Saka Prabhu, Nitin Prabhu. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Jalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimati Lokanath Swami Nitramane Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitramane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadane Pachacha Desatarane Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kupasindubhacha Evacha Pattanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namah. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosade Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rusha Bhanustute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Dandavat Pranam everyone. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. On the occasion of the 73rd Vyasa Puja of His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj, I would like to present a humble offering. Even though I am not qualified to speak of your glorification, Maharaj, I hope you accept the words that come out of the heart of this fallen soul. Guru Maharaj, you are the most compassionate, merciful, kind, determined, disciplined, dedicated, and hard-working personality I have ever seen. Words cannot describe how indebted I am to you. You have given me the motivation, inspiration to continue on this sacred path. You are visionary and role model to all of us. For the past 50 years, Guru Maharaj, you served the Srila Prabhupada and Sanatan Dharma with utmost care and devotion. Guru Maharaj, you start off each and every day with your wonderful Japa talk. You speak on different topics, Chaitanya Charitamrit, Srimad Bhagavatam, Jagannath Radha Yatra with such a incredible insights that it makes time fly. Maharaj, you give disciples with a span across the world a chance to connect with you. Your mercy is truly infinite. I have learned so much from you, Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, you told us if you lost money, nothing has been lost. If you lost health, something is lost. But if you lost character, everything is lost. ISKCON will change your character. After joining the ISKCON, transformation started. Unlimited learnings about being human, what to eat, what not to eat, how to talk, how to think, how to respect everything around us, and how to lead a life with Krishna in the center. Srila Prabhupada, in his letter, mentioned our Lokanath Swami is just like Saint Tukaram. Guru Maharaj, you have become a synonymous with Kirtan in the ISKCON congregation. No one beat you in this, Maharaj. You have been crowned as the Kirtan Samrat for your ecstatic, long, beautiful Kirtan, which have touched the hearts of the countless people directly, indirectly. The purity of your soul and your sincere devotion of Lord Krishna are conveyed through your Kirtans. These magnificent Kirtans flow into the materially entangled hearts like ours, delivering us back to the Godhead. You are bona fide spiritual leader and your actions are exemplary. You have such a big goals and want more and more temple festivals and padayatra. While achieving your goals is brings a lot of challenges. You are a person who has overcome all these obstacles and brought immense success to the ISKCON. Throughout your life, Guru Maharaj, you have connected everything with Lord Krishna, Srila Prabhupada, and Shastra, helping many people advance further in their spiritual journey. Guru Maharaj, I pray to Lord Radha Nilamadava, Lord Jagannatha Baladev, Subhadra Devi, Lord Narsimha Dev, Sita Rama Lakshmana, to bestow you with a long life so that you can cherish more of your association and witness many more of your amazing wonders. If I even achieve a grain of your devotion to the Lord Krishna in my lifetime, I will be considered my life is successful. Guru Maharaj, I share my heartfelt gratitude for accepting me, inspiring me, nurturing me with your Kirtans, Padayatra, temple, Goshalas, and Vani, etc. I beg you to please forgive me if I have knowingly committed any offenses. I am a fallen soul stuck in the cycle of birth and death. On the auspicious day, I am begging you to please protect me and give me a more and more mercy, so that I can taste the divine nectar of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and have more chance to serve Guru Gauranga Vaishnava with right attitude and the right mindset. Param Puja Lokanath Swami Maharaj ki Jai. Param Puja Lokanath Swami Maharaj ki. Param Puja Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki. Param Puja Radha Govinda Dasa Goswami Maharaj ki. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much, VCC Temple Management and His Holiness Harvilas Maharaj, for giving the opportunity to celebrate the combined Vyasa Puja. I am blessed to be a part of this community. Your humble servant, Rama Raghavadas.
Hare Krishna. Vancha kaltrubhescha, prasindhuevcha, patidran pamnebhyo, vaishnebhyo, namo namaha. His Holiness Lokanath Maharaj ki jai. His Holiness Radha Govinda Maharaj ki jai. His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki jai. I want to say first His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj. So it's a very short story. I read in traveling preacher Indradu Maharaj, His Holiness Indradu Maharaj. So Maharaj was in Fiji one time. So he giving class on yajna. So Maharaj was saying, if you do yajna, so you get a rain, and by the rain you get a So there was a drought in Fiji a few years. And then after the class, one devotee, I don't know, devotee or maybe visitor, he challenged. He said, Maharaj, is it true we do yajna and we got rain? Maharaj said, yes, Krishna said. And then he said, okay, we do yajna. So Maharaj said, okay, do 24 hours yajna. So they did 24 hours yajna, and next day so much rain there. So that's we can see the power empowered by Prabhupada. And his all disciple is a very unique, and everyone have a very different qualities. Same like His Holiness Lokanath Maharaj is doing Padayatra and doing Kirtan. So one is a lecture, Radha Govinda Maharaj in lecture, and he said, the Lokanath Maharaj was there too, and Maharaj said, Radha Govinda Maharaj said, Sri Sri Radha Nilmadhav Bhagwan ki jai. Radha Govinda Maharaj said, Lokanath Maharaj is a Kirtan Samrat. His Kirtan is best. So, and Radha Govinda Maharaj is, most of them we are Grasta here, so I want to say about Grasta. He's an example very good in Gajendra Moksha. So I heard his katha, many kathas. So Maharaj said, Gajendra is a Sri Gajendra he was in very big troubles with a crocodile hold him in the water. And Maharaj said, Gajendra have many wives, so all wives were there, children, and his uncle, auntie, and his brothers, everybody helping him to get out from the water. But nobody helped him. So Maharaj said, doesn't matter how big family you have and who can help you. Nobody can help you. You have to ride on plane. So you have to take everybody have to take a own the responsibility. So this is I learned this one is very good example. We should not depend on anybody. Yeah, doesn't matter where you are in US or India. It doesn't matter which ashram you are. Doesn't matter at all. So only we should depend on Krishna. And Maharaj Katha is very powerful, our Katha. One other example is very nice example. Is for the village. The who grow up in village, they mostly they understand. Maharaj said in village have many paths to go out, in and out. So some path is like a permanent path. So like a 2-3 paths permanent. Some is temporary path. So when is a rainy season, so the rainy season, the temporary path they filled up the water. After a month or 2 months, some weeds grow there, some grass and something. So it looks like there is no path there. So same thing, we don't know how many lifetimes we are from out of Vaikuntha Loka. So we just forgot, and we don't believe at all we go back to Vaikuntha Loka, because we thinking there is no path at all, because it's covered by the grass and weeds there. So this was a very good example, and other one is very good one too. So Maharaj have so many good examples, but just want to mention one more here. So since we have some time more. One is Maharaj give a Bhagavatam Sapta in Hardwar. Maharaj like Ganga Tat, right? The Bhagavatam. So Maharaj give a Bhagavatam Sapta, 7 days were there. So one bulls the bell, he come every day before Bhagavatam start. He come and sit down, whole Bhagavatam. And after Bhagavatam done, then he left. All 7 days he do that, every day. 7th day when Bhagavatam done, he just left his body, went to Vaikuntha Loka. Yeah. Bull, bell, sorry, bull. So after the 7 days, seventh day the Bhagavatam went done. After the done, he left his body. Yeah. So that's the powerful of the Maharaj Bhagavatam. Yeah. We pray to the Radha Nil Madhav and Sri Sri Gaurnitai ji and Sri Sita Ram ji, Lakshman Hanuman ji and Jagannath Sura Baldev. Maharaj have a good health. His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, His Holiness Lokanath Maharaj. Lokanath Maharaj is doing parikrama, Padyatra. Srila Prabhupada told him, so I don't know how many, maybe more than 40 years, right? Yeah, it's a long time. Yeah, he's doing, yeah. Yeah, he started in the Western too, I think, right? Yeah, Western countries too, yeah. Okay, so, yeah, Hare Krishna. Yes, His Holiness Lokanath Maharaj ki jai. His Holiness Radha Govinda Maharaj ki jai. Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Gaur Paramande. Hari Hari Bol.
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. I'm going to speak in Marathi. So, Lokanath महाराजांसाठी ही ऑफरिंग आहे. महाराज माझे आई आणि वडील सियाटलला आले. सियाटलला आल्यानंतर त्यांना भक्ती परंपरेचा लाभ मिळाला इथल्या कॉंग्रिगेशनमुळे, हरिविलास महाराजांच्या कृपेने. आणि त्यानंतर परत मुंबईला आल्यानंतर त्यांची भक्ती कशी कंटिन्यू होईल, कशी चालू राहील ह्याचं मला जरा टेन्शन होतं. परंतु तुमच्या शिष्यांनी त्यांना उचललेलं आहे आणि पुढे जाऊन त्यांनी तुमच्याकडून दीक्षा घेतलेली आहे. आणि तुमच्या कृपा मिळाल्यामुळे आमच्या फॅमिलीमध्ये, कुटुंबामध्ये आई वडिलांना पण दीक्षा मिळालेली आहे. मला राधानाथ स्वामी महाराजांकडून दीक्षा मिळालेली आहे. माझं नाव गौरांगचंद्र दास आहे. आणि ह्या दिवशी मी तुमचे आभार व्यक्त करतो की तुम्ही आमच्या आईवडिलांचे कल्याण केलेले आहे. धन्यवाद. थँक्यू. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Can someone play Karta? Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki, Srila Radha Govinda Maharaj ki jai, Srila Lokanath Swami Maharaj ki jai. Shri Guru Charana Padma केवल भक्ति सद्मा वन्दमो हि सावधान माते वन्दमो हि सावधान माते जहर प्रसादे भाई ए भव तोरे आ जाय कृष्ण प्राप्ति होय जहाँ होइते कृष्ण प्राप्ति होय जहाँ होइते गुरुमुख पद्मा वाक्य चिते कोरिया ऐख्या आरना कोरे हो माने आशा आरना कोरी हो माने आशा श्री गुरु चरणे रति ऐसे उत्तम गति श्री गुरु चरणे रति ऐसे उत्तम गति जय प्रसाद पूरे सर्व आशा जय प्रसाद पूरे सर्व आशा चक्षुदा दिलो जाय जन्मे जन प्रभु से चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेद गाय जहाँ रचरितो वेद गाय जहाँ रचरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधमा जनारा बंधु Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu Lokanath Lokera Jivana Lokanath Lokera Jivana Ha ha Prabhu Karo Daya Deho More Pada Chaya Ha ha Prabhu Karo Daya Deho More Pada Chaya Ebe Jai Gosukre Bhuvana Ebe Jai Gosukre Bhuvana Prabhupada Patita Pavana Srila Gurudev Loilo Sharana Jai Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Srila Gurudev Jaya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare हरिहराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः हरिहराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः गोपाल गोविंद राम श्री मधुसूदन गिरिधारी गोपीनाथ मदन मोहना गोपाल गोविंद राम श्री मधुसूदन गिरिधारी गोपीनाथ मदन मोहना हरिहराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः गोपाल गोविंद राम श्री मधुसूदन गिरिधारी गोपीनाथ मदन मोहना हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राधा नील माधव श्री राधे जय 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 राधा गोपीनाथ श्री राधे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर श्री राधे जय राधा माधव श्री राधे जय राधा नील माधव श्री राधे जय कृष्ण बलराम 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 कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 श्रीला प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 श्रीला गुरुदेव Gurudev. You want to sing? Jayam Vishnupada Paramhamsa Paribrajacharya Ashtotara Shata His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Aravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vishnupada Paramhamsa Paribrajacharya Ashtotara Shata His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद के नामाचार्य शिला हरिदास ठाकुर के प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद के श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन के ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम के नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम के श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम के गंगा देवी की यमुना रसरानी की तुलसी देवी की भक्ति देवी की युग धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की बृहद मृदंग ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जगत गुरु शिला एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिला प्रभुपाद के शिला तमाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी महाराज की शिला राधा गोविंद दास गोस्वामी महाराज की शिला लोकनाथ स्वामी महाराज की All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to you, Srila Prabhupada. किधर है फ्लावर्स? Can we pull it up there? Can we pull it up, Prabhuji? The Pushpanjali. Thank you, Murali. Krishna Murali, bro, you want to chant, Prabhuji? I think they are going to pull it up. That we will say. Only the starting, whatever. Okay. Okay. Ram Raghav, you want to chant? Okay. Yeah, Prabhuji sir is pulling it out.
It's better to
Yeah, if there is a book.
only. That is the best.
Yeah, okay.
You be independent of the technology. Otherwise, you know, right? Until they do it, you are stuck.
Yeah.
And Prabhu, hold the Ram Raghav, Prabhu, hold the flowers, Prabhu. Later to me.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिन इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नम ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती इति नामिने श्री वार्षभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्वल प्रेमाज्ञ श्री रूपानुग भक्तिदा श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्ध अपसिद्धांत द्वांतहारिणे नमः गौर किशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलंबर सांभोदे पादांबुजाय ते नमः नमो भक्ति विनोदाय शचितानंद नामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते गौराविर्भाव भूमेस्त्वं निर्देष्ट सज्जन प्रियः वैष्णव सर्वभौमाश्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते जयतां सुरतौ पंगुर मम मंदमतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्भोजौ राधा मदन मोहनौ दिव्याद्वृन्दारण्य कल्पद्रुमदः श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद्राधा श्रील गोविंद देवौ प्रेष्ठालिभि सेव्यमानौ स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसारंभी वंशीवटत्तटस्थितः कर्षन् वेणुस्वनैर्गोपी गोपीनाथः श्रियेस्तु नः तप्तकाञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Now we'll recite Pranam Mantra for 3 Maharajas. Was that for Tamal Krishna Maharaj? Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Tamal Krishna Goswami iti namine Esha Pushpanjali. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Srila Radha Govinda Das Goswami iti namine Namaste Gurudevaya Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadhi Gramya Janani Stharine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Lokanath Swami iti namine Esha Pushpanjali. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Radha Prabhu. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Tamal Krishna Goswami iti namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Srila Radha Govinda Das Goswami iti namine. Namaste Gurudevaya Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadhi Gramya Janani Stharine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Lokanath Swami iti namine. Esha Pushpanjali. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, This is the last one. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Tamal Krishna Goswami iti namine. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Radha Govinda Das Goswami iti namine. Namaste Gurudevaya Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadhi Gramya Janani Stharine. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Lokanath Swami iti namine. Esha Pushpanjali. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki. Shri Srimad Srila Radha Govinda Das Goswami Maharaj ki. Srila Lokanath Swami Maharaj ki. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, dear devotees, for very kindly coming. And special gratitude to His Grace Pandita Vijay Prabhu for all the wonderful decoration, and to Her Grace Rasavati Mataji for the wonderful feast that Mataji has prepared. The prasadam is there downstairs. Please kindly honor. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bo.